Hello everyone, this is Orlando from A Collector's Dream. And today I received, yesterday I received my package from COMC. And I have a bunch of stuff there for sale, and then what I do is when I sell some stuff, I just kind of try to gather some cards that that fit my collection. So what I did first of all is I just, a couple months ago, I was going through my Star Wars cards, and I noticed that some of them were not in great shape, and I was missing a couple of them, a couple of numbers, and so I went on COMC and I filled in my my set. So now I have I did have the set, but it wasn't in great condition. So the ones that I needed to upgrade, I did. So that's the Han Solo card. You see in the back, it's a puzzle, but these were really nice, sharp, good condition. So I figured I'd pick that up. I got this one here. So I looked for nicely centered ones, and the ones that I'm replacing probably were either off-centered or maybe had a little bit of a wrinkle or something on it, or rounded corners. So I got on COMC and I tried to find some that were really good shape. So that C-3PO is injured. And again, all the backs just have, some of them do have information. So that's to fill in my my Star Wars set, and now I have it in like really great shape. And that's the droids in the control room, card number 33. You see the card numbers there. And the last one I picked up was this one, the Stormtroopers Attack. So as you can see, they're in great shape, centered. I found the best ones I could find on COMC. These were like a couple of bucks, you know, they weren't that expensive, you know. So for a few bucks, now I have my my set complete. Another card I picked up was, you know, this is kind of a mix of what I pick up, which is, you'll see, a little bit of everything. Star Wars, now I got some football. This 1950 has just awesome football images, and this one just really caught my eye. You know, I looked for some cards that were in decent shape, maybe to grade them in the future, but again, this is maybe 15, 20 bucks. I don't remember how much it was, maybe even less than that. But it was in great shape, and this is a Hall of Famer. This is Paul Younger. Paul Younger. So the card was in pretty good shape. You know, I mean, it's not perfect. Maybe has a little bit of soft corners, but either way, it was pretty nicely centered, and for the money, it was good. So there he is, played in Grambling, led the nation in rushing, 1947, and was named to the Negro All-American team. So that is Paul Younger. But I just love the image of Paul Younger. The way he's just kind of flying through there. You got the flag in the background with the blue sky. Just a beautiful looking card. I just thought it was just, you know, one of the nicer cards. So again, you know, maybe a little soft corner stuff, but for, I don't know, I guess it was like 15 bucks or something like that. It was pretty cheap. Figured I'd pick that one up. The other card I picked up, again, all these were kind of cheap on COMC, and kind of shows a little bit about stuff I've been collecting lately. And this is the Thomas Edison, the Ogden Edison, in gold. This is from the, I don't know the exact year. Let me take this out of here. Take a good look at it. It was in really good shape. The only thing, it had a little bit of writing in the back, but I'm good with that. It's going to be for my personal collection, so here it is. That's what it looks like there. Guinea gold cigarettes, Thomas Edison. So it was a pretty good looking card. You know, for a card this old, and you know, the corners were pretty nice, and the black border was nice, and it's Thomas Edison. See, famous electrician, inventor of the phonograph, and cinematograph. Nice picture of Edison there, young Edison. Card number 120. In the back, like I showed you, it has, like I said, it has a little bit of somebody wrote something back there. Maybe it was Thomas Edison doing some type of math there. But, hey, that's okay with me. And I think, does it have a pinhole even? No, it may have a pinhole. That would be cool. It'd be a Mookie card. I didn't even notice the pinhole, but it doesn't matter. It's going to be my personal collection, but it was a nice Thomas Edison from the Ogdens, 19, I don't know, I'm not sure of the year, this particular one, but anyway, that's the other card that I got there. And then the last card that I got, you know, kind of fits my my collection for Cuban players. I'm putting away this Edison card here, and that is one of the 6 Cubans that are in the Hall of Fame. And you have 2 Tonys. You got Tony Oliva and Tony Perez and Tony Oliva. You got Minnie Minoso. You've got Martin Dihigo. You've got and I'll talk about him one day, Cristobal Torriente, who was the Cuban Babe Ruth. And then you have Jose Mendes. So I picked up this card. You know, now these old-time black stars are like super expensive. I think I got this for under 40 bucks or somewhere around $40 on COMC. But this was a few months ago. You know, it took about probably 2 months to get my card back from COMC, and then I had bought it even before that. But these old-time Black Star cards, the Laughlin, 74 Laughlins, have become ridiculous. And there was one last night for Josh Gibson that sold for $3,400, and that's crazy. But you know, Josh Gibson didn't have any cards, you know, of the day, where Jose Mendes did have cards back in the day. He had Cuban cards. And I'll share some of the Cuban cards that he had here with you. And this is one of his Cuban cards from the Aguilitas. And that's just a picture, of course. This card is extremely rare and expensive. And you can see here Mendes, El Diamante Negro, the Black Diamond, is what he was nicknamed and what he was called. And there are even rarer cards of his out there, but one day maybe I'll get one. Probably the more affordable card of his, which is not affordable, you don't see it very often, is this this card here, which is another one of his cards, Cuban cards. And that one is a 1923 Tomas Gutierrez card. And there's a couple others, but they're just so rare. His rookie card is this, the Punch Cigarros, the Punch Cigarros, Jose Mendes from 1910, which I think there's maybe a couple that exist. So really, this is the only way to get this particular guy in any affordable, you know, card, because you know, there is also a 1924 Aguilitas. So one day I'll be able to pick one of these up. This is the 1924 Aguilitas of Jose Mendes. But let me tell you a little bit about Jose Mendes. Jose Mendes is considered, hold on one second here. I'm gonna go ahead and just read something for you here real quick. He's considered the best Cuban pitcher prior to Dolph Luque, and arguably the greatest hurler ever born on the island. Known for his long fingers, he threw a hard fastball, curveball, and a changeup. He made his professional debut at 18. and that was back in 1906, where he went 9-0 in the Cuban Winter League for the top record. He was 15-6 the next year and made his United States debut with the Cuban Stars. He played with the Brooklyn Royal Giants, and back in 1907, he beat the Cincinnati Reds 1-0 on November 15th, throwing a no-hitter for 8 2/3 inning before Miller Huggins got a cheap single when no one covered first on a grounder between first and second. He also pitched 7 scoreless innings of 2-hit ball against Cincinnati 2 weeks later. Remember, the Reds and certain teams would come to Cuba to play in the Winter League. He then pitched a 5-hit, 8-strikeout effort in another whitewash of the Reds in December. That winter, he conducted the first of many tours of the Caribbean to promote baseball. In addition, he would sing, play the cornet, clarinet, and guitar. The following year, in 1908 and through 1909, because it was the winter time, Jose was 7-0 in the Cuban League. He was 0-1 in a Negro League contest, and he faced many white teams that winter. He beat the Indianapolis Indians 2-1 with 11 strikeouts. He lost to the Tigers. He fell 4-0 to the Tigers, and then he beat the Tigers 2-1 and beat a U.S. team of Sherry Maggi, Danny Hoffman, Germany Schaefer, Jimmy Archer, and Tommy McMillan 3-1. Mendes was 18-2 the following year in the 1909 and 1910 winter ball season to again become the top pitcher. He was 1-0 in the U.S. and he tied in U.S. competition. He tied Rube Foster 4-4 in one duel and beat the Leland Giants in 2 visits to Cuba. He lost to the Detroit Tigers team 3-0 thanks to 6 errors by the Havana Blues. And then he tied the Tigers 2-2 and he lost 6-3. He lost 6-3 to Detroit, during which Ty Cobb went 1-for-2 with a strikeout in his first matchup against the hurler. Remember, Cobb didn't play all the games there, so and of course Mendes didn't pitch all the games either, but he did pitch against him. He beat Eddie Plank 5-2 that year in 1910 when the Philadelphia A's came to town in December, and then topped Plank again 7-5 in another match. Overall, he was 2-2 against major league teams for the second straight winter. In 1910-1911, Mendes was 9-5 in the offseason. I'll let you see the back of this as I read here. You could go ahead and check that out. But he was 4-0 against the top black teams, and the rest of the Cuban staff was 0-5. And one of the, before I read too much more, because he's got a huge history here, back from the 1910s and stuff. He did pitch against the New York Giants and the Philadelphia Phillies. He lost 4-0 matchup with Christy Mathewson, despite allowing only 5 hits. John McGraw said that he was like Mathewson and Grover Cleveland Alexander rolled into one, and worth $30,000 if he were white. And then he went on to pitch again in the 1911 winter season. He was 3-1 in Negro League competition. 1912, 1913, the Cuban Ace went 10-0 in the league and 2-0 in the next winter season. Remember, he not only pitched in the Cuban League, where he dominated in the Cuban League, he pitched in the Winter League, where he played against the black Negro Leaguers and the American Leaguers. But he went all the way, and he pitched for many, many, many years. And then he got injured at one point. And at that point, he was 1921, and he was already now, an older guy in his 30s, late 30s, when he's, I think, 35 years old. He pitched again for the Monarchs. He was 1-0 with a 2.87 ERA. But since he was injured, he became more of a utility man. He was hitting 278 as utility man. In 1922, he went a 1-2 mark. But 1923 saw him bounce back with a 12-4 record and 3.17 ERA. And he combined with Wilbur Bullet Rogan on a no-hitter of the Milwaukee Bears, pitching 5 perfect innings. He also became a player manager that year. So he was a player manager and took over the reins from Sam Crawford. And, you know, at the age of 24, in 1924, and he was a 37-year-old veteran at the time, he was 6-1 with 2 saves and 257. And this was in for the Negro Leagues. He had surgery that fall and was ordered not to play by the doctors, but relieved in Game 7 of the Negro League World Series and won that game. He relieved again 5 days later and won the finale on October 20th with a 5-0 3-hit shutout of the Hilldale Club. After a 1-1 winter in 1924 and 25, he was KC's manager. He was 3-2 despite a 6.41 ERA. In 1925, he was the losing pitcher in relief of the 1925 series. He was 3-1 the next winter and 2-2 with 3 saves and 2.53 ERA. Again, you're talking about at this age, he was 37, 38 years old. You know, kind of like Satchel Paige, they pitched on forever, you know. And it said here he pitched through 1924-25. Again, back in Cuba. It says Hall of Famer John Poployd said that he never saw a better pitcher than Mendes. And only a few years after retiring, he died at the age of 41 of pneumonia. So he pitched and played until he was 38 years old. He won a Negro League World Championship. And I'm going to read to you his plaque here. I'll share with you his plaque. This is his plaque, nicknamed the Black Diamond. Cuban-born hurler Jose Mendes was one of the most dominant pitchers of his era. It says Jose de Caridad Mendes Baez, El Diamante Negro, the Black Diamond. Pre-Negro Leagues was in 1908 and 1919. That's when he played mostly in the Cuban leagues against some of the American players back in Cuba. And the Negro Leagues from 1920 to 26. Again, he was already in his 30s when he went to the Negro Leagues. A slender right-handed pitcher who was acknowledged as the first Cuban-born baseball star in the pre-Negro League era. Utilized a vast array of pitches, mainly relying on a deceptive fastball and sharp breaking curve to dominate opposing batters. As a player-manager, he led the Kansas City Monarchs to 3 consecutive Negro League National League pennants. And in 1923 to 1925, he clinched the 1924 Negro League World Series title with a 3-hit shutout. He hurled 25 consecutive shutout innings against the Cincinnati Reds during an exhibition competition in 1908. So that is the story and history of Cuban Hall of Famer and a Cuban legend, the best Cuban pitcher of his time, Jose Mendes. The back. Mendes was a very dark Cuban right-hander. In 1908 and 09, he defeated Jack Combs and Eddie Plank when the Philadelphia A's visited Cuba and split 2 games with Christy Mathewson and the New York Giants. Mendes had long fingers, permitting him to get great spin on the ball. He came to the U.S. with the Cuban Stars, and in 1909 had a 44-2 record. After arm trouble, he became a shortstop and outfielder. Some claimed he was faster than Smokey Joe Williams. So that is card number 9 in the Black Stars, Jose Mendes. Thanks for watching, guys. Really appreciate you guys hanging on for this long video and watching me share some of these pickups that I did from COMC. Thanks for watching. Have an awesome day. This is Orlando from A Collector's Dream, and I'll catch you on the next one.